Hey, welcome back to Studio Raven. Today I have another short video for you. This is going to be a follow-up on my last video, which is how to add an Add to Cart drawer button onto collections pages for the Shopify Brooklyn theme, which uses Timber.js. Very long title, lots of things to cover because there's a lot of things that you could want to be doing, whether that be just adding an add to cart into collection pages, specifically adding one for the cart drawer, learning to be more flexible with the Brooklyn theme, or just learning to use Timber.js more efficiently. There's a lot going on here for developers and non-developers, but we have had some questions. And first, I just want to thank you for the great interaction. Of course, I have to like my own video, but nobody's disliked, and we have 100 views, which for me is great. And the comment section is what it's about. It's about helping people and making sure that we solve your problems. So I've had a couple of comments and I just want to address them in this video, first by reading them and then by going in and solving them. So the first comment that we have is Lotus Shields, who asks, how do I get rid of the color selector on just a collection page, not the product page, so that it's just the add to cart button on the collections page? So what I'm assuming this question means is, how do you get rid of the variant selector? The video that I uploaded does not have variants on the products, so I'm going to go ahead and show an example that does have variants. We also had an issue with somebody saying that their product picture wasn't showing. I'm going to see if I can replicate that issue, but as far as I have tested in my own space, I haven't had this issue. Furthermore, we've had some great advice from Lux, just saying to make sure that you add the script before the last two divs. Other than that, it looks like everything is in order, and I thank you guys for the great interaction. Please keep it up. I'm here to answer your questions. I try to reply to everybody that needs a response pretty quickly, and of course, I'd love to make follow-up videos to answer your questions. If you have any more questions about Shopify in general, I am a registered Shopify expert developer, and I'm here to answer any questions, help you with anything you could possibly need. So ask them in the comment section. I'm super interactive, and let's try to get you guys onto the same level. So let's jump onto those problems, shall we? Okay, so I'm going to be focusing today on the inquiry about how to get rid of the variants from the Add to Cart option on the collection page. You can see here we have the same page as we had before, and I am going to go into my products, and in my products I am going to look for Dexter, and I am going to add a few variants onto Dexter. So we're going to say this product has variants, we're going to say characters, and we're going to say DD, Dexter, and Mandark. All these are going to be the same price. I'm going to just increase our inventory, not going to bother adding a SKU for now, and I'm going to save. So we now have our Dexter product with 3 characters from the show. If I go back to the collections page and I refresh, you can see here that a drop-down for DD, Dexter, and Mandark has been created as they are the variants, and the code that we copied from before will automatically add the variants onto here. It also has a little subtitle here. All of this can be changed in CSS, and we're going to go ahead and look as to how to get rid of this. A quick mention, of course, is that the Add to Cart button will need to add one of these items to the cart. If you don't want them to be able to select, you're going to need to know which product you want to use as a default product. Meaning that if I click Add to Cart, it's either going to always default to Dexter or always default to DD or Mandark. If you had a product such as a sweatshirt or shirt and you had 3 colors, red, blue, and green, then you would have to default to one of those colors if you did not want to give them the option to choose the variant on this screen. So let's go ahead and go to Online Store and open our Brooklyn theme and edit the code for that. So we have the product grid item, and if we scroll down, we still have the code here from last time. So what we can do to figure this out ourselves, for those of you who may be more experienced with coding and programming for web browsers, then you know that we can right-click and choose Inspect. This will open a little pop-up that gives us more information about what we're looking at. So if I hover over this, we see that this whole section here is called Radio Wrapper JS Product Form Items. And if I go any further, okay, then that's the whole form for adding to cart. So I'm going to go and try to find the Radio Wrapper JS. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to exit out, go into here, and paste. And now that I've pasted, I see this is what we are looking for. The Shopify editor allows us to see the entire expanse of what we're clicking on by highlighting the beginning and the end in orange. So I know that this whole thing would need to be gotten rid of. But of course, we also need to go up a step from there, because we have this loop that is saying for each option in the variants, create this dropdown. And we don't want that to happen at all. The easiest way to get rid of this, especially for the possibility of wanting to re-add this later, is not to delete it. Simply press Enter on the line above unless and type the following: 2 curly braces, 2 percent signs. Inside the percent signs, you're just going to say comment. This next part is extremely important. We're going to look down for the end unless, which is the end of this, and we're going to press Enter. And underneath that, we are going to, again, put 2 curly braces, 2 percent signs, 2 spaces, and then end comment. What this does is it's going to tell the store to ignore all of this code. That way we don't have to delete it if we ever wanted to re-add it. All we have to do is highlight this and delete them. And then the website will continue to read this code. For now, with the comments in place, it will ignore them. So now if we scroll down to the select, we need to make sure that there is a default. And it looks like there is in fact a default for the first available variant. So if you don't want to choose the default, it will already choose a default for you. So if I save this code now, simply having added the comments onto both of these lines, and I go back to my collections page and I refresh, what our changes have done. So our changes have gotten rid of the variant selector for Dexter. If we click on the other items here, Johnny Bravo, that still adds to cart without issue. If we click on Courage, that also still adds to cart. If I click on Dexter, let's see what happens. Dexter adds to cart, but the first available variant, which is DD, is being selected as the default. Of course, your customers could always click on the product itself and then select what they want from here and add it to their cart. So now I've got 1 Mandark and 1 DD. And so this would be a good functionality for those of you that don't mind what they're adding to their cart, since we did have a question on this. So if we wanted to have a default variant of our own choosing, then instead of saying if the variant is equal to the first selected variant, we could simply hard code, which means get rid of the references to any variant or product and replace them with the variant ID and the product ID that we want. This could be for another video if you are interested in setting defaults values for these add to carts in perhaps a part 3. But this is of course how to get rid of that option altogether and just allow your customers to add something to their cart without needing to select a variant. So I hope that this has been helpful to you. I hope this has answered your question as well. And I will be uploading a part 3 soon to show more about that variant selector and how to get that to work, and maybe even how to get that to look a little bit prettier. So if you have any more questions, please ask them in the comments below. I try to answer as many questions as I can, and when I see a very good question or something I may have forgotten to address, I will make a video and be as clear as I can. So in part 3, we're going to talk more about those variant selectors and getting those to work the way we want, and perhaps even setting our own custom default options. For now, thank you very much for watching. If you like my videos, please feel free to subscribe for more Shopify related content or just more development related content in general. I have a few things in the pipeline that I hope you guys will enjoy. But until then, take it easy, stay safe.